If COVID-19 wasn't dominating the news right now, what would be some of the biggest stories be right now? Aioli wood. Scientists found the first ever living animal, a parasite, that doesn't need oxygen to survive. This was in February. Link to more info in our video description. Our discovery confirms that adaptation to an anaerobic environment is not unique to single-celled eukaryotes, but has also evolved in a multicellular, parasitic animal. Hence, H. salminicola provides an opportunity for understanding the evolutionary transition from anaerobic to an exclusive anaerobic metabolism. Iankua's reply. When I suggested that extraterrestrial life could exist on a planet without oxygen due to them having different needs than human life, my Year 9 science teacher suggested I was stupid and that all life needs oxygen to survive. Who's the stupid one now, Peter? Sis4Koi reply. So, we're gonna be able to adapt to climate change after all? Shinipimp reply. Excited X-Files noises. Casey 1776 reply. They look kinda cute. I know, I'm weird. Tycon_D_Iroga reply. This is why I've always thought the whole Goldilocks zone of inhabitable planets is stupid. How are we to know that all life requires conditions even close to similar to us? It's totally possible that there could be life that doesn't require liquid water. Or even carbon. Who is to say there isn't some crazy species with mercury in its veins? If it even has veins. Insani team reply. This is both interesting and terrifying at the same time. Thanks. One spike. Egypt and Ethiopia are close to going to war due to Ethiopia building a dam on the Nile River. Ethiopia is diverting some water and limiting water flow to Egypt. The Ethiopian government is refusing to honor previous agreements made that detail the rate at which they will fill the lake behind their dam, and they refuse to negotiate any further with the Egyptians. Jahafagri reply. Does Ethiopia have the military strength to take on Egypt? I don't know much about Ethiopian military, but Egypt gets over $1 billion a year in military aid from the USA and have the largest standing army on the continent. Dunkarus Aircool reply. It depends on the type of war though. Ethiopia has wild geography. An invasion would by no means be easy. It sounds as if the Egyptian army would have to be the aggressor in this scenario. Egypt definitely has the stronger military, but it would be a tough war to effectively win. Wabi reply. Ethiopia's ally, Sudan, a nation situated between the two countries, won't let that happen. Sudan supports the dam. Without the dam they face huge floods followed by very low water. They want the water to be stable all year round. Sudan has publicly admitted they want the dam now. Egypt doesn't have the logistic resources or numbers to run a multi-day campaign over 1,500 miles of hostile territory. Ethiopia has high-tech military machinery that's advanced enough to repulse any land or air missile attack imposed by Egyptian military. If Egypt's military forces tampered with the dam heavily funded by China and Italy, Ethiopia could easily retaliate very harshly by blowing up their Aswan Dam, washing 95% of Egypt into the sea and putting Cairo underwater. And trust me, the West won't sit back and watch a predominantly Christian country take a beating by a Muslim one. Egypt equals Muslim country. Ethiopia equals predominantly Orthodox Christian, with an ancient Ethiopian Jew population that has significant ties backed and supported by Israel. Atomo 3 reply. Literally the only thing Egypt needs to do to win is bomb the dam. As long as that's accomplished they win. They don't need to occupy a single inch of Ethiopian soil, they don't even need to put boots on the ground. Kerlal reply. But doesn't a vast majority of Egypt's population live directly on the banks of the Nile? Blowing it up would mean eliminating your advantage by flooding millions of people. Atomo 3 reply. The flow of the Nile would have to go through the entirety of Sudan before reaching Egypt. I am not a hydrologist, but I suspect it may not reverberate on Egypt in any way stronger than the Nile's regular floodings. Rains 30 reply. What kind of retarded argument is that? I am guessing Egypt just wants certainty on the water flow not being threatened to its populace. Get your head out of your ass, friend. We need to share resources on this world, or wars break out threatening everyone. Food and water and the defense of loved ones are the only good justification for going to war, and I won't blame Egypt doing that 1 second. And yes, I would say the damn same thing if it was the other way around and it was Egypt who was threatening the water supply of Ethiopia. Mad Max 22022 reply. Egypt is first, strongest army in Africa and Middle East. Bloodhund reply. Nah, Egypt is second strongest Arab nation. Potato Chips 23415 reply. Ethiopia is really strong too and has crazy geology and lots of strong allies. It would be a new world war centered in a different area if shit went crazy. White Arab Bro reply. I'm Egyptian and this affects me on many levels. First off, the Egyptians are scared of water security in the future. Second, if we do go to war with Ethiopia, I'll be the first one drafted by the conscription. Third, no one in Egypt really wants to go to war with an African nation. We wanna be friends, but Ethiopia doesn't give a flying fuck. T-Wallet reply. I'm Sudanese and I do support the construction of the dam. It is so beneficiary to both countries, Ethiopia and Sudan, and you geese get your water flow slightly reduced and want to go to war for it? White Arab Bro reply. It's not slightly, and I don't want to go to war, sissy, doesn't, for a good reason. We need to ensure our water security. Angie_MJ. I would hope the locusts plaguing East Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent. It's describing some swarms as being the size of New York, and they are eating their harvest, threatening widespread famine. I think without coronavirus we would mobilize to try to control this population the way we did for Zika carrying mosquitoes in the Americas. Hate Snack reply. I swear I remember hearing about some group readying up like 200k ducks to go fight the locusts. Cause one duck can eat like 150 locusts a day or something. I'll have to find a source. Thorn of Queens reply. I've heard this story before. Next we're going to hear about the enormous swarm of ducks that's taking over Africa and India. Then someone's going to suggest deploying 200,000 badgers to eat the ducks. This could go on a while. Gapping Double reply. Plagues, wildfires, locust. I know things like this happen, but definitely getting some apocalypse vibes. TVA reply. Don't forget the major earthquakes. Eli_Quo reply. I thought you were joking. This is unreal. What's next? Frogs? Lice? Pindiferous_Panda reply. Just one horseman at a time please. Kirito 2750 reply. This wouldn't make the news in most Western countries. Not even a mention. Zika did because it was in the Americas, but as usual, the news won't sell copies or get views if it reports on things that don't affect its audience, and unless it has to do with oil prices, those areas will not make the news. Edit. It's incredibly unfortunate, and I don't mean to say that this is the way things should be, but it's the way they are. 123 Dream 321. Nth Room case in Korea. Telegram porno sexual slavery ring with 74 victims including underage girls. The Telegram groups has estimated at least 10 to 30,000 subscribers. The Nth Room perpetrators are accused of luring victims, including minors, into sending sexually explicit photos and videos. In some cases, this escalated to using blackmail to force victims into increasingly violent acts, including sexual assault. Absolutely disgusting. I'm surprised that this news didn't get bigger internationally. Polar light. One of the guys in charge of the rooms has had his identity revealed, and the rest, one other main guy and the people who participated, are being investigated as of right now. Reports are saying that a few high-profile celebrities, professors and athletes are some of the 260k involved in the viewing and/or distributing of the illegal contents, which is unsurprising considering the entrance fee to access these rooms were between $300 to $1,500. Hope justice is served and served well. Korean law is known to be very forgiving for sex crimes, so I hope things change with this. Eddie 699. Saw it on BBC News top stories this morning, then was quickly pushed down the order. DSJ0N0F0N. The fact that there were like 260,000 people participating in that is the worst part. 260,000. Fireheart 360. Thanks, there are now 10,000 people I hope swallow a bag of nails. The level of depravity humans seem to regularly fall to is awful. Duck Arkan. If this turned out not to be a thing in the US already, I would be very surprised. Pedophile politicians supporting a national sex abuse industry is apparently in vogue these days.